Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave Physical Edition is an $80 Switch 2 release as Nintendo's pricing strategy shifts. Nintendo's evolving approach to game pricing is continuing to take shape, and the latest example is Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, which will launch at $80 for its physical edition on Switch 2. The upcoming tactical RPG set for release on September 17, 2026 is now live on the eShop with confirmed pricing details. While the digital version will cost $70, the physical release will come in $10 higher, making it one of the most expansive standard editions in the series to date. It joins a small group of titles at the top end of Nintendo's pricing structure alongside Mario Kart World and the Switch 2 version of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, both of which also carry the $80 physical price tag. A growing gap between physical and digital pricing. Nintendo previously outlined a shift toward what it describes as valuable pricing, where digital versions of games are generally priced $10 lower than their physical counterparts. In theory, the approach is meant to encourage digital adoption by offering a consistent discount for players who skip physical media. In practice, however, it has introduced a widening gap between editions that is becoming more noticeable with each new release. With Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, the difference is particularly striking. A $70 digital version versus an $80 physical copy of the same game at launch. Inconsistent pricing across the Switch 2 lineup. While Fortune's Weave sits at the high end of the pricing scale, other recent and upcoming Switch 2 titles have landed at lower price points. Games such as Star Fox are launching at $60 physical, $50 digital, while Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is priced at $70 physical and $60 digital. The variation has made it difficult to identify a clear standard for Switch 2 software pricing across the board. As a result, some players have questioned whether the digital discount model is um, effectively masking rising cost on physical editions rather than simply offering savings for digital buyers. Industry pressures behind the price shift. The broader context behind these changes appears to be rising production and distribution costs for physical media, particularly as games grow larger and more complex. Whether the $80 price point becomes a new norm for major first party releases remains to be seen, but Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave is clearly part of a new tier of premium Switch 2 titles. For fans of box copies, it also means a growing premium for keeping shelves stocked with physical editions of Nintendo's biggest franchises. Now, community reaction. The pricing announcement has sparked debate among players, with some pointing out that digital games have long been cheaper in principle, even if parity was historically the norm at launch. Others argue that the shift is less about digital discounts and more about physical media becoming increasingly expensive to produce and distribute. As one player noted, digital versions always should have been cheaper, while others see the change as a necessary adjustment to modern development and manufacturing cost. Either way, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave is now one of the clearest examples yet of how Nintendo is reshaping pricing expectations for the Switch 2 generation. One thing that wasn't brought up in comments from in reactions from the community, let me go through this again. Star Fox, 60 physical, 50 digital. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, 70 physical, 60 digital. Fire Emblem, Fortune's Weave, 80 physical, 70 digital. Do you notice the pattern? Keeps going up, up, up. Um, yeah, and I'm starting to wonder, when are we going to start hearing 90 physical, 80 digital, and then 100 physical, 90 digital? With what I showed between Star Fox, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, and Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, is it really that hard to see Nintendo possibly going there in the near future? I'm not talking about something that's far off. It just seems that every time a game with any kind of hype about it comes out, or if it's from a possible, um, or if it's from a notable franchise, it seems to get more expensive both digitally and physically. There's still a $10 difference, but like I said, Star Fox was 50 digital. As for digital games, always should have been cheaper, of course, because you're not getting as much with digital. Um, and I'm not against digital. My Xbox One, actually, the lasers that read the disc are broken. So the only way I could play games on my Xbox One is if they're digital. So I'm just kind of saying, screw it. Just play just jump to digital for that system. But back to the Switch 2, how long before we see um 90 physical, 80 digital, and then 100 physical, 90 digital? I think we're going to see it a much sooner than people realize, and I'm surprised no one put that together in the comments of this article. But are you gonna get Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave? Also, how do you feel about the Switch prices seeming to keep going up for digital and physical? Why do they keep raising the prices of digital? That's another thing. You're not getting anything. Even if you get like an online manual or whatever, there's no reason for digital to keep going up. Even if there was a reason for physical. How do you feel about this pricing structure that's coming from Nintendo? Let me know in the comments.